Well, as it stands, this resolution calls for an urgent suspension of hostilities, and the wording is absolutely key here. That's what all the diplomatic wrangling has been about over the past days, because what Washington does not want and what Washington would veto would be any resolution calling for a ceasefire. Israel and the United States do not want a ceasefire. They argue that that would only benefit Hamas on the ground there in the Gaza Strip. And so this vote, which was originally due to take place on Monday, was postponed to Tuesday, and now it seems like it's going to be postponed to a little later on in the day, to 12:30 local time, because the wrangling over the wording continues. But as it stands, yes, it will call for an urgent suspension of hostilities. It also calls for unimpeded aid access because civilians there in the Gaza Strip have not been able to get food, water, medical supplies, and it calls for something else that is new, that has not been in any of the previous resolutions put to the Security Council on this war in the Gaza Strip. It calls for the United Nations to have a monitoring presence. It calls for the UN to monitor all of the aid distribution into Gaza. And the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has put forward three possible ways to do this. One being a larger UN presence on the ground, so more human rights staff there in the Gaza Strip, or a civilian observer mission, which would mainly be deployed at checkpoints and places like that to monitor how aid comes in and that it's unimpeded, it has unimpeded access, or a uniformed presence made up of unarmed military observers to monitor ceasefires.